Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Serena, and today we are going to be talking about 5 signs that you could be an empath. So if you have not been here before, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know if you have any questions. Today we'll be covering things about empaths. So if you have any empath questions, put them down below and we'll see you in the video. Okay guys, so 5 signs that you might be an empath. So the first sign is that you are clairsentient. So this is true for all empaths. All empaths are clairsentient. And if you have not heard of the different clairs, there is clairsentient, there's clairvoyant, claircognizant, then you have telepathic. I might be missing one, but that's beside the point. If I'm missing one, put it in the comment below which one I'm missing. And so the clairs are basically our psychic senses. They are the way that we interpret and receive information. So specifically, empaths are going to be clairsentient. What this means is we feel things. So a lot of times you'll hear an empath. If you are an empath, you'll describe things as, yes, that feels right. Where most people would say, yes, that sounds good, or whatever it might be. If you are, cognizant, you'd be like, yes, I just know it. Because claircognizance is clear knowing. So that also goes into, a lot of times empaths are not only clairsentient, which means they feel information, as in emotions, thoughts, feelings, stimulus coming in from the environment, but also they may embody another one of the clairs. So they might actually be able to see certain visions, they might be able to hear audio or voices coming in, or they might just have a knowing when information comes in. They don't know how or where they received it from, but they just know. So this is empaths typically have either they are just clairsentient, which all empaths are clairsentient, or they also embody clairsentience and the other clairs as well. Sign number 2 that you might be an empath. So empaths have more porous energy fields, which means most empaths will struggle with creating boundaries. So a lot of times we notice this as we sense an emotion coming in and we start to feel really sad or down, but like we can't place, like nothing happened to us. So we're like, okay, why am I feeling sad when I don't really know what would cause that? So I remember for me a lot as a child, I had super turbulent emotions, and this was because I was feeling all of the emotions that were going around in school. When you're in a classroom of 23 other people, that's a lot of different emotions. Or also in a family dynamic, if there's family tension going on, you might feel that. And then what ends up happening with an empath a lot of times is they get confused between what's my boundary and what's somebody else's boundary. And by boundary, I mostly mean like energy field. Because they have a more porous energy field, that means more stuff is going to get in. Empaths are going to absorb a lot more than your traditional non-empathic folk. So number 3, the third sign that you might be an empath is you feel so connected to nature and water especially as well. So the reason for this is empaths will naturally go towards nature because nature is very much devoid of emotion, right? So as empaths are usually picking up on different emotions and different stimulus throughout the day, nature is actually clearing that, especially water. As we all know, water holds memory, and our bodies are made up of 70 to 80% water. So when we are able to go out in nature, we're able to kind of release that, and then the nature or the earth, the trees, the grass, the water absorbs all of that for us. So typically empaths have a really strong connection to the natural world around them because it makes them feel good. It helps cleanse and clear them, and they also feel recharged afterwards. So sign number 4 that you might be an empath is you are a natural healer or you are a natural helper. So if you are somebody that always feels what other people are feeling and goes to their aid, or you have a strong and really sensitive compassion for other people, that can be a sign of being an empath. So I think for myself, one of the first signs that I can even remember in my own lifespan was actually this one time when I was in grade school. I don't even remember what grade it was, maybe 3rd or 4th grade, and one of the kids in my class got sick and accidentally pooped his pants. So to all the other kids in class, this was absolutely hilarious and super funny and just, he was the biggest joke. To me, the only other person in the class, I felt how he was feeling, which was so much shame, so much embarrassment. He had to go to the office. His mom had to come and bring him new pants. He actually ended up leaving for the day because he didn't want to go back to class. And I remember coming home from school that day and being like, Mom, I need to write this letter. And so I wrote this letter to the boy in class and said, you know what, it's okay. We all have these moments, no one thinks badly of you. You are still amazing. You are still loved. And, in 3rd or 4th grade, so a lot of times as empaths, we just have an extreme sense of compassion and, ergo, empathy for other people. So the 5th sign of an empath is this feeling of maybe being isolated from other people or having low self-esteem or feeling different. So my example from before, right, where I was the only one in class that felt sorry for the boy, that actually impacted me as well, because not only was I feeling compassion for him, but I was also noticing the stark difference between how certain people view that situation versus how I viewed that situation, right? So as we grow older and we progress in our lives, what we start to realize is, whoa, I don't feel things the way other people feel things, or things affect me deeper than other people. So a lot of times what ends up happening is we can either be ridiculed by other people for being too sensitive or too emotional or just too much, or we tend to a lot of times self-isolate. Because there's such big emotions, we often don't want to make others feel like we are a burden on them because we can feel the burdens of others. So a lot of times, empaths actually can struggle a lot of times from toxic independence, which means they will self-isolate in order to sort through their emotions instead of allowing that space for other people to help them. And a lot of times that's just because of how they were meant to deal with things in childhood. And that's something that can also be worked through and grown out of as well. But it definitely can be a lonely place to be an empath, especially if you feel the need to go away from people when you are having an emotional experience or when you're absorbing energy from others. There's definitely good times to self-isolate, like when you're in nature and you need to recharge and you want to just let go and be yourself and all that kind of stuff. That's not the type of isolation I'm talking about here. What I'm more so talking about is the feeling of I'm different or too much or I can't share this part of myself with others. So a lot of times empaths may have very low self-esteem because of this as well. So if you struggle with isolating yourself with your emotions or low self-esteem, that is also a sign that you may be an empath. Well, there you have it, everybody. That was 5 signs that you might be an empath. Look forward to my next video where I'm actually going to compare and contrast highly sensitive people and empaths, because a lot of times people will think that this is the same thing. However, it is not, and there is, 1 or 2 big ways that you can tell that these 2 things are different. So my next video coming up will be HSPs and empaths and how they are different and how you can tell the difference. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you on the next video. Big love, Serena.